Well, good afternoon. It's just afternoon, isn't it? And we're going to be doing another live on the first certificate or the PET B1, B2 writing part 1, practicing that. And we're going to be looking at this particular question. Okay, so this is the English First Certificate of English B2 Writing Part 1 compulsory question, which is about 140 to 190 words. Okay, first of all, let you know, sorry, got a bit there. I've been trying for the past half hour to get this thing working, tripod, so that I don't have to hold my telephone in my hands and I can just do the live, but unfortunately couldn't get it to work, so here I am holding the telephone. So if you have any problems with that. Also, I have set up some polls. I don't know if I've done it correctly, so if you can't see them, here we are, poll, quick poll, text poll. I did actually set up some polls. Basically what I want to know is what's the best time. You can actually reply on my videos because, you know, I'm 50 years old. Technology, yeah, it can be a little difficult trying to work out where these things are. So I would like to know what time of day people prefer to have lives. If it's during the week, is it better in the morning, in the afternoon or in the evening? And what sort of things you would like to cover. If you follow me, and if you go on my page, any of the videos which I've posted advertising the lives, just reply to one of those. Let me know the sort of topics you would like to cover, what you find difficult, and things like that. What time of day you would like to see lives, the topics you'd like to cover, what skills you would like to practice, like reading, writing, listening, stuff like that. Okay, so let's get started. So just to let you know, my Instagram and my TikTok, both at Isla Idiomas. So follow along if you want to know about more English content and when I'm going to go live, because you will get notifications if you follow. Okay. islaidiomas.com is my website. This is for my academy. I teach English in the south of Tenerife. I have my own academy, islaidiomas.com. If you live in the south of Tenerife and you are interested in not one-to-one, I do not do one-to-one classes because I don't have the space in my schedule. But if you would like to come to my classes or you would like to have personal, presencial classes, then please feel free to drop me a line, islaidiomas.com. If you would like information and games that you can play. If you're a teacher and you want to use games in your classroom, I actually produce a lot of materials. Classroomgames.net is the website where you will find those. You will also find materials if you're studying, which you can download, games you can play to practice, especially verbs. I know that irregular verbs are really, really difficult to learn, and therefore it's really boring as well. So if you're trying to learn your irregular verbs, I've put on there a couple of good games that you can either play on your own or in groups with some friends that are also learning. Okay, so these are my two main websites. islaidiomas.com is for my academy, and also I do a summer camp. So if you're in Tenerife on holiday and you're holidaying in the south and you want your kids to go and learn English, we do a summer camp in English. And classroomgames.net if you want materials. Okay, so now we'll start. We're going to be covering the English writing part 1, mainly for the first certificate, but they also have it in the PET as well on the Cambridge exams. There are similar things on other exams. The Escuela de Idiomas exams also have something similar. If you don't understand anything that I'm saying at any point, please let me know in the comments. I can speak Spanish as well, so I can explain things in Spanish too. But because this is for B2 level and B1 level, I'm assuming that the majority of people that are coming into this live will be coming in because they speak a reasonable level of English and can understand me. If you cannot understand me, please let me know. Okay? Okay, so this is for the English First Certificate B2 Writing Part 1. This is the compulsory, I'll zoom in a bit, the compulsory question, okay? This is a question that everyone has to answer, and it is 140 to 190 words that you have to write. Okay, so it's usually a question. Here it says, you're given an essay title and 2 ideas clearly linked to the title. And you must add a third, different idea of your own, which is also linked to the title. The title will be a subject of general interest. Okay, general interest. So therefore you don't need, or you won't need, any specialised knowledge to answer this question. They usually choose things like climate change. For example, I mean, this is the one we did about 2 weeks ago. This question was, in your English class, you have been talking about the environment. So this one's about the environment. Write an essay using all of the notes and give reasons. Okay, so that was the question that we did about, not last week, because I did more grammar lives and lower level, but that was about 2 weeks ago we did this one. So today, that was about the environment. Today we're going to do a different question. So another general question that you are likely to find on this type of exam. Okay, so in your English class, you have been talking about the fashion industry. Okay, so they assume that the majority of people, excuse me, the majority of people have some sort of opinion about fashion. Write an essay using all the notes and give reasons. This is very important, giving reasons, using all the notes. Okay, use all the notes and give reasons for your point of view. Okay, so you're giving your point of view and you have to say why you're giving that point of view. You have to use all the notes. So this is the question part. Some people say the fashion industry has a bad effect on people's lives. Do you agree? Okay, that's all the questions. So you have to say whether or not you agree. You have to give a reason for that. And you also have to use these 3 answers to speak about it. You have to make sure that you do all these things, okay? Whether people's appearance is important, you have to write about that. Whether people's appearance is important, whether what you look like is important. The price of clothes. And then you can come up with your own idea. So something you think is, important in this subject. So they ask you for your own idea. You have to use all 3. So you have to make sure that you write about all 3 of these things. Okay? A good way to prepare for exams like this, for the writing part 1, is to just look at past papers and other papers that people have done, correct their errors, and also check whether or not they have answered the question. So we're making sure that we answer this question. Do you agree? What's your point of view? Have you given reasons? And have you used these 3 notes? That's what we're going to be focusing on for the whole thing, but we're also going to be correcting the mistakes in this. This is an actual answer that has been written by someone in a first certificate or a PET exam writing part 1. Okay, this is an actual answer written by a real person. So it starts with fashion industry is very a discussed subject nowadays. Okay, we've got this word nowadays. That's a nice word to use in any sort of writing. Does anyone know what nowadays means? It means hoy en día. Okay, it means at the moment or around this time, in this time that we are in at the moment, nowadays. Really nice word to use in a writing exam because it shows that you have a good understanding of English. Okay, fashion industry. Well, we're talking about the fashion industry as a whole. So what we're going to have to do is we'll have to start with the fashion industry. It's an art, we have to put the article on there because we're talking about the fashion industry as a whole. The fashion industry is very a discussed subject. Can anyone see what is wrong with this sentence? Is very a discussed subject. Okay, we have the fashion industry. We wouldn't have a here. We would change the a, is a very discussed subject. So we would take our a out of here and we would stick it in there. The fashion industry is a very discussed subject nowadays. Now, if you look here, we've got a colon, and then the next word is starts with they, and it's not a capital letter. So after a colon, you should really have a capital letter, but we don't here. So there are two things we can do. We could either change that to a semicolon, or we could capitalise the T there. Either would be correct and would make it it would make it more readable. Okay, the fashion industry, because a colon is literally, it's saying a full stop. So it's saying it's the end of a sentence. So therefore, the next has to be a capital. Okay, the fashion industry is a very discussed subject nowadays. They create and design new clothes every day. Let's follow that. They create and design new clothes every day in order to be satisfying some person's needs. Yeah, they create and design new clothes every day. They create, so it's they, so create is correct. It doesn't need an S or anything. It's talking about something that's done every day, so it's a routine. So this is the correct tense. It's the present simple. They create and design new clothes every day, so this is okay. Okay, in order to, lovely way to say this is for this reason. Let me, keeps focusing on my hand rather than on the paper. Okay, every day, in order to. And then, so that's a nice phrase to learn. So if you want to use in order to, it means this is why they're doing it. Okay, this is why it's done. In order to be, it's good. In order to be satisfying some person's need. Maybe I wouldn't use to be then, because we've got satisfying. In order to, we can change that, take ing off, take that, in order to satisfy. Oh, I've taken our to off, we need to. In order to satisfy. So when you have the word to, in order to, normally we just have the straight infinitive verb after it. So in order to satisfy, because to satisfy is the infinitive, isn't it? To satisfy. In order to be satisfying, okay, it can be satisfying, but we've got this afterwards, some person's needs, so it's to satisfy instead. If it was just finish in order to be satisfying, that would be okay. But because we're finishing the sentence with something else, we're to satisfy some person's needs. Persons. The plural of person is not persons. We don't have an S, add an S. What do we call, well, what's the plural of persons? Does anyone know? Irregular plural, some people, some people's needs, because it belongs to the people, so we have to use the apostrophe S. This is called the Saxon genitive, if you're looking it up in grammar books. Yeah, da, well done, people. But we are putting the S on because the needs of the people. So therefore, the needs belong to the people, so we need the Saxon genitive. Now, if you know about Saxon genitive, brilliant. If you don't, if I say, let's do it on this page because this is an extra one. The ball of the boy, for example. Yeah, so the ball of the boy in Spanish, la pelota del niño. Yeah, the ball of the boy. In English, you should probably know this. We put it the other way around, so we would say the boy's ball. And this is the Saxon genitive, and this means that it belongs to the boy. The ball belongs to the boy, okay? But you have to remember that if you're talking about many boys, we put the apostrophe after the S. It sounds the same when we speak it, the boy's ball, the boy's ball. But this is talking about many boys. So if they're all playing in a field together and they all own the ball, then that belongs to many boys. This belongs to, that's just one boy. That's two or more boys. Okay, so quick explanation of the Saxon genitive. Why are we using apostrophe S then? Because people is many people, isn't it? It's because people is a plural. So the peoples, we're not saying... if it was persons, if we were using persons like that, we'd do this. We would say persons. But because there we are, persons. But because people is actually a plural word, it's the people's needs. So you put the apostrophe S there. So there are much persons. Here we are again. Persons, people. I like, thanks, Dash. I like the PPL abbreviation. People. There are much people who claim that the fashion industry is important and well for society. Can we see anything wrong there? Who claim that the fashion industry is important and well for society. So we've got there are much people. Well, first of all, I've missed this one here. There are much people. We don't have much because people are countable, so there are many people. There are lots of people you could put as well. If you need a higher word count, need to stick more words in it, you could put lots of as well. Yeah, you get 2 words there instead of 1. Little trick. So there are many people who claim that the fashion industry is important and well for society. Well, we've got here, who claim that the fashion industry is important, that's okay, and well for society. Well, this is an adverb, and we don't want to use an adverb in this because we're not describing a verb. The fashion industry is a noun. So we need the good, very good, excellent, Thorin, good, not well, and good for society. That's correct. Okay, so that sentence is a good one now. There are many people who claim that the fashion industry is important and good for society. Okay, according to these what? We really should put people in there again. According to these people. Because in English, we always need to say who we're talking about. I, you, he, she, them, these people. Yeah, we need to say that virtually for every sentence, generally in English. You can't tell otherwise who you're talking about because verbs don't change that much. So these people, okay, comma, which it had there anyway. This industry design beautiful clothes. Okay, well, what do we have here? This industry is it. Okay, this industry. So it, this is present simple. So it should have an S on it. This industry designs clothes because this is third person singular. Okay, third person singular, this industry. To these people, this industry designs beautiful clothes. And here we've got the S, so that's okay. And thanks to that, every person can wear shirts. Well, every person, I think I'd write everyone instead of every person. You're going to lose a word there though. So if you've got lots of up here, that'd make up for your word you're losing there. Thanks to that, everyone can wear shirts, trousers, or any accessory which is on today's fashion. Okay, can we see anything wrong with that? Can wear shirts, plural, because we're talking in general. When we're talking general, we tend to use the plurals. Shirts, trousers, or any accessory. This isn't in plural. So we're going to change that, and if it ends in a Y and it has a consonant before it, I-E-S. Any accessories. So if we're talking about plural things or any accessories, shirts, trousers, accessories, which is, then is needs to become are, because it's they, which are, and we would say in fashion, in today's fashions. Today's is good, apostrophe S. Okay, today's is fine, today's fashion. But I would say today's fashions maybe, which are in today's fashions. Okay, so in our first paragraph up to now, we've got our introduction. The fashion industry is a very discussed subject nowadays. They create and design new clothes every day in order to satisfy some people's needs. Okay, so that's an introduction. Now, have we written about any one of these things? Let's have a look. There are many people who claim that the fashion industry is important and good for society. According to these people, this industry designs beautiful clothes, and thanks to that, everyone can wear shirts, trousers, or any accessories which are in today's fashions. So it designs beautiful clothes. Whether people's appearance is important, has it talked about that? It hasn't really, has it? Has it talked about the price of clothes? Has it? No, I don't think it has really. It hasn't talked about the price. It hasn't talked about appearance. Has it talked about their own idea? Well, you could say, you might be able to say, because it's not talked about either of these things, that it could have talked about their own idea. It could be just an extension of the introduction. So let's put 3 and a question mark there, because it could be someone else's idea, but it's a bit sort of ambiguous towards the points that have been asked to be written about, whether people's appearance is important. Saying it's good for society, saying that they design beautiful clothes, and it says that people can wear lots of stuff. So maybe it's a 3. Might get away with that. On the other hand, nice opener to a contrary opinion. So this is going to be something that's opposed to that. It has to be opposite if you're saying on the other hand. The fashion industry, in some people's opinion. So if it's some people, and it's an opinion of those people, then we need to use our Saxon genitive again. So we have to put in here an apostrophe S, because it's the opinion of some people. Some is fine because it's plural, people, but it's the people's opinion, so we need our Saxon genitive. Okay, on the other hand, the fashion industry, in some people's opinion, and this, don't know if you know about, it's when you've got On the other hand, it's actually not to there, is it? It's here, in some people's opinion. So this would be, you could possibly put a comma here, the fashion industry, in some people's opinion, because this is a non-defining part of the sentence. It's like, it's not really important to the sentence. It's just saying in some people's opinion. If I said the fashion industry controls the market of clothes, that sentence would be fine. But I'm adding in some people's opinion here. So that's a non-defining relative clause. It's a bit of information that is not necessarily needed for the sentence. So it really needs a comma before and a comma after. Okay. On the other hand, the fashion industry, in some people's opinion, controls the market of clothes. That's okay. Because it's talking about the fashion industry. Controls is correct. The market of clothes. And because of that, they can't wear what they want to. Can we see any problem in this? Because of that, they can't wear what they want to. Well, it seems okay. Because of that, they can't wear what they want to. It sounds okay, doesn't it? But which two do we need here? Now, I've talked about this last week, or the week before, sorry, when we did this one. A lot of English people make mistakes with these words. So you have to really be careful what you're doing with these words. So we've got to, the number to as in a, or to go to a place, or to with the infinitive, or to. And then you've got to here, which means, I don't understand the part of in some people's opinion. Okay, let's go back to that. Okay, right. There are two bits about this. Okay, a non-defining relative clause, which is what this is. It's called a non-defining. You have two types of clauses. You have defining and non-defining. Okay, defining relative clause. So those are both relative. If you look this stuff up in your grammar books, yeah, this is what they call it. Or if you search on the internet, this is what they call it. You've got a defining relative clause. You've got a non-defining relative clause. A defining relative clause is where the information that you add to the sentence is needed in order to understand the sentence. So I could say it in Spanish as well. La información que necesita, que ha añadido a la frase, necesita para entender la frase. Okay? A non-defining relative clause is the opposite. You don't need the information in order to. It's just extra information for that sentence. So that's why this is a non-defining relative clause. Because you could say this sentence, on the other hand, the fashion industry controls the market of clothes. And the sentence is perfectly understandable. We understand that sentence. You don't need that text at all to understand what is meant. On the other hand, the fashion industry controls the market of clothes. That's a perfect sentence. However, you can add that it's in some people's opinion. That's adding more information to the sentence, but you don't need it. On the other hand, the fashion industry, in some people's opinion, controls the market of clothes. It's still a good sentence. It still makes sense. Okay? So that's why it needs a comma before and a comma after, because it's extra information that has been added to that sentence, but it doesn't necessarily mean anything more. It's not made the sentence more understandable. So, and with the apostrophe, because it's opinion belongs to the people. Okay, so we have apostrophe S. The opinion belongs to the people because that is called the Saxon genitive, which I mentioned earlier. Okay, so we've got the ball of the boy. So in Spanish you'd say la pelota del niño. The boy's ball is how we do it in English. So we swap them round. We're saying the ball belongs to the boy. Okay, and if it's sort of like many boys, we would put the apostrophe after the S. That's called, if you look in your grammar books, it's called the Saxon genitive. If you want if you want to look it up, yeah, that's what it's called, that particular grammar point. Okay. So on the other hand, the fashion industry, in some people's opinion, controls the market of clothes, and because of that, they can't wear what they want to. So here is where we were talking about 2, 2 and 2. It's not the number 2. It's not 2 as in also. So this 2 is incorrect, needs to have 1 O. Okay, so I can't wear what they want to. In addition, nice, adding more things. So we've got on the other hand, in addition. So this has to add to what they're saying before. In addition, the industry can increasing. Okay, can increasing the price of clothes. In addition, the industry can increasing. So, do we know what's wrong here? Here we have can. Can is a special verb, isn't it? It's a modal verb. After can, after any type of modal verb like must, should, what others, could, all those verbs, ought to, we won't have ing. We won't have the gerund. Okay? So at can, we need to take that off and put an E, can increase. Okay? We also won't have can increases, nothing like that. It's just the infinitive. After that, in addition, the industry can increase the price of clothes. Price of clothes, fine. Forcing people who don't want to be old-fashioned. Old-fashioned, lovely. Nice word there to use. Old-fashioned means people who think or act or dress, in this case, in an older way. So for people who are older. However, old-fashioned is a compound noun. Okay, compound adjective. Compound adjective because it's an adjective. It's describing how people dress. Okay, old-fashioned is a compound adjective made up out of 2 words, old and fashioned. That's a compound adjective. Compound adjectives, when they're joined in 2 words, they have a space, but they have a dash in between them. Okay, old-fashioned. I am left-handed. Yeah, I am left-handed because I write with my left hand. So I'm left-handed. That is a compound adjective. Old-fashioned, the same. So forcing people who don't want to be old-fashioned to buy and pay a large money to keep beautiful. To buy and pay a large money. Can you have a large money? Wouldn't that just be a massive note or coin? Yeah, a large money. It would be a large quantity or a large amount of money. So you say a large amount of money, or you could say a large quantity. Es como... I don't understand, Diego. quantity. It's like you're talking about the palabrota. Okay? To buy and pay a large amount of money or a large quantity of money. So either of those will do. That's 2 extra words as well. Forcing people who don't want to be old-fashioned to buy and pay a large amount of money to keep beautiful. I think a better verb than keep would be to stay beautiful. Okay, stay beautiful. It sounds better. To keep is more sort of like to keep something, to sort of have an item. Whereas to stay is to stay in that state. Okay, so have we answered any one of the 3 items? You've stated a point you've made. Is it whether people's appearance is important? The fashion industry, in some people's opinion, controls the market of clothes, and because of that, they can't wear what they want to. In addition, the industry can increase the price of clothes, forcing people who don't want to be old-fashioned to buy and pay a large amount of money to stay beautiful. It doesn't really say whether the appearance is important. It says that we make ourselves look better, but it doesn't say whether or not it's important. It does talk about the price of clothes though, so I would put that down as number 2. It has answered that question. Okay, it has answered the question about the price of clothes, so we've done that. Then we come to our last part. So this usually is a conclusion. It might hopefully have one of these points in it as well. Okay. So in my opinion, we can't let the fashion industry decide. So we've got this, in my opinion, that's good. Saying your opinion, because it's asking for your point of view and reasons. So you need to have your opinion in there. In my opinion, we can't let the fashion industry decide what we must or mustn't wearing. Okay, again, we've got must and mustn't here. Excuse me, could you give me feedback on the C2 writing of mine by any chance? Yeah, sure. If you go on to any of my... Well, actually, yeah, just message me. Just send a message. If I have time to go through it, I will. Okay? If I've got like 5 minutes just to read through it. Why is it must plus the verb with ing? Yes, that's correct. Must doesn't come with ing, does it? If we do must or must, if we have ing, then we need to have another verb. We need to have be in front of it because it'd be present continuous. So why we must or mustn't wear is correct. After must or mustn't, just like can here, we don't have a gerund. We don't have ing. Never. Also we don't have to as well. A lot of people make the mistake where they say we must to wear, or we must to go, or we must to be. No, we never have to in front of the verb. Between a modal and the verb, we don't have to. So just be careful of that. So we must or mustn't. And here, if you look at how it's spelt as well, mustn't. Yeah, not mustn't. There's no T in there. We must or mustn't wear. So here we go. There's our sentence again. Let's read it all the way through. In my opinion, nice. We can't let the fashion industry decide what we must or mustn't wear. Okay. So that's saying that the fashion industry shouldn't decide what we wear for us. But is it saying whether people's appearance is important? Not really up to now. So have we answered this? Yeah. We shouldn't judge people's for its appearance. We shouldn't judge, that's okay. After should or shouldn't, we have the verb without ing, and we don't have to before it, so that's fine. We shouldn't judge people's for its appearance. Well, we shouldn't judge, we don't need people's. It doesn't belong to people, so it's not like we're doing this, well, having the Saxon genitive and people's as in it belongs to people, people's needs, the needs of the people. We're saying we shouldn't judge people for its appearance, and people as well is a plural word, so it wouldn't be its appearance, and it belongs to people, so it would be their appearance, but we would be using the possessive there, meaning to belong to them, so it's for their appearance, like that. We shouldn't judge people for their appearance because it's not that important. That's okay. Okay. We must wearing. Again, we've got must. This is obviously this person is making the same mistake throughout the text. We must wear whatever we like, want and feel comfortable. So whatever we like, want and feel comfortable. Comfortable. How do we spell comfortable? Comfortable. It's with an M, not an N. Okay, in English. Comfortable. We pronounce it comfortable. Okay? Comfortable. So that's the text that was given. We'll just read through it quickly. And if you want to take a screenshot of it, I'll put my phone here so that you can do that while I'm reading through it. Okay, the fashion industry is a very discussed subject nowadays. They create and design new clothes every day in order to satisfy some people's needs. There are many people who claim that the fashion industry is important and good for society. According to these people, this industry designs beautiful clothes, and thanks to that, everyone can wear shirts, trousers, or any accessories which are in today's fashions. On the other hand, the fashion industry, in some people's opinion, controls the market of clothes, and because of that, they can't wear what they want to. In addition, the industry can increase the price of clothes, forcing people who don't want to be old-fashioned to buy and pay a large amount of money to stay beautiful. In my opinion, we can't let the fashion industry decide what we must or mustn't wear. We shouldn't judge people for their appearance because it is not that important. We must wear whatever we like, want and feel comfortable with. Okay, so that's the whole text there, what this particular student wrote. I don't know who wrote it. It was from the Cambridge website, from answers that have been given. So what you have to do, you have to give your point of view. Point of view is given because it says in my opinion. The given reasons have been given in certain areas, so that's good. You've followed the question. Write about whether people's appearance is important. I'm not sure that's been. We shouldn't judge people for their appearance. He's talking about appearance because it's not that important. Aha! Okay, so we've answered question 1 there. Okay, that's been answered, so that's okay. 2, the price of clothes has been answered. It's answered in this section, and we could count this as your own idea. So this would be, I think, a good answer for, apart from the errors, it's hit all the points, so you're going to get points for each of that. In exams, you really do have to make sure you answer the question properly. Okay. I've got another one here. It's the same question. This one was written by someone else. So, as I said, it's exactly the same compulsory question, 140 to 190 words. It's the same question in your English exam. We're talking about the fashion industry. Write an essay using all the notes, and give reasons for your point of view. Okay, and it's the same question. Some people say the fashion industry has a bad effect on people's lives. Do you agree? Write about whether the person's appearance is important, price of clothes, and own idea. So again, we have... just getting a bit more comfortable because I have to hold my phone. My wrist is hurting now. I have a bit of... been on TikTok too long last night, scrolling. Yeah. So I've got a bit of carpal tunnel here. Okay. So, let's have a look at this question. Let me just... Okay. Let's see. If you... Just to let you know, if you haven't seen already... my website for my academy in the south of Tenerife, southwest of Tenerife in Playa San Juan, isleidionas.com. So if you want classes, you want to come for classes and you live in that area, I don't know where you're all from, let me know where you're from in the comments. It'd be nice to know. Then that's where I am. If you come on holiday and you have kids, we also do a summer camp in July and August. So all the information about my classes and things like that, prices, matriculation, etc., and the summer camp is all on that website. If you want things that help you learn English, or if you are an English teacher, then this is my website, classroomgames.net, for stuff like that. I'm going to upload some more stuff today, actually, once I get off this live. And I'll probably do another live tomorrow because this weekend I'm just trying to chill out at home. But it might be for lower level, so present continuous or something like that, because we did present simple last week. Okay, so follow along if you want to know about more lives. If you like what I do, then please tap the screen, get the likes, the likes. 1,300, thank you very much. It'd be nice if we could get that up to like 2,000 or 3,000 by the time I finish. That'd be lovely. But yeah, that's what helps out. So, classroomgames.net, I have downloadable games on there which you can either play on your own, or you can play and download, photocopy, laminate, whatever, and play with a group of friends, or you can use them in the classroom if you are an English teacher. Okay, so now let's do our second correction. Okay, so English First Certificate, this is from, they have the same thing in the PET. You will also find it Escuela de Idiomas exam, similar types of questions. This is the B2 Writing Part 1 compulsory question, 140 to 190 words. Please let me know if you, at Isla Idiomas is my... TikTok and Instagram, and also Twitch and stuff like that, but I've not actually started broadcasting on Twitch yet. I'm still trying to figure stuff out. I'm 50, you know. I'm quite technologically minded, but it's just having the time to go on each of these different social medias. It's just on top of everything else that you do. So anyway, less complaining from me. Okay, so we've got our question. These sort of questions you'll find in Escuela de Idiomas as well if you're doing that type of exam. Most exams have something similar. Here we are. So we're starting with in today's world. That's okay because the world belongs to today. So we've got our Saxon genitive there. In today's world, the fashion industry has a strong importance in life of persons. Okay, so the fashion industry has a strong importance in life of persons. Can anyone... Thank you, Ali. I'm glad you like my... Do you know where my accent is from? My accent is Mancunian. I am from Manchester in the north of England. However, I did live in the south in London for a good number of years. I used to work on local radio as well, so I had to have elocution lessons. So my accent is Mancunian, but a softened Mancunian. Yep, that's right. Live should be life. Who was that? Maioli. Yep, life. We've got wrong there. Any more that you can see in that sentence? The fashion industry has a strong importance in life of persons, as we've got now. The fashion industry, well, this word, anything wrong with that? Important, yeah. But if it's strong, I would make this into a noun. So I would say importance, importance. It's an importance, has a strong importance. Yeah, Nicholas, that's right. A strong importance in life of persons. Well, we also need the as well. So shall we rewrite this sentence underneath? The fashion industry has a strong importance in, so I'll write it here, in the life of, and then persons will be people, because persons, plural of person is people. Why importance? Yeah, importance in people's life is also correct as well. You could say that, that's great. Why importance? Because this is an adjective and the adjective is describing a noun, but this is another adjective. So you can't have an adjective describing an adjective. So the noun for important is importance. Importance is the thing, important is the adjective. So you could say importance, really, if you really wanted to, but it sounded a bit weird. But yeah, a strong importance in the life of people. Okay, so we started in today's world. The fashion industry has a strong importance in the life of people. The fashion industry say to the society what to wear. So the fashion industry say to the society. Can anyone think? You're welcome, Rosa. You're welcome. The fashion industry say. Well, the fashion industry is what? It's a thing. So a thing or an animal, we use it. It is third person singular. Third person singular rule. We'd have to put says. The fashion industry says. But would we use says? Because they'd put the fashion industry says to the society. Or is there a better verb that could be used that sounds better in this situation? The fashion industry, I would use tells instead of says. Okay, the fashion industry tells to the society. We don't need tells society. So it tells that person or that thing. The fashion industry tells society what to wear and creates new types of clothes all the time. That sounds all right. You know, you could write it better. You could say the fashion industry tells society what to wear and creates different types of clothes all the time, or creates more interesting clothes all the time. You could write it in many different ways, but that it's a good sentence. So no need to change a good sentence. Yeah, some people write things differently all the time. Okay, some people claim that the fashion industry has a bad effect on people's lives. We've got our Saxon genitive there. Lives is spelt correctly. That's a good thing to watch about. Lives of people. So that's fine. This is actually an okay sentence. No mistakes there. Some people claim that the fashion industry has a bad effect on people's lives. Okay. They say that the fashion industry creating clothes that the society has to wear. It's all a bit weird on that one. Okay. They say that the fashion industry creating clothes that the society has to wear. I don't know what they're trying to say here. Effect? Oh yes, well done, Paula. I didn't even see that. A bad effect. Yeah. Well, hey, well done. I didn't notice that one. Some people claim that the fashion industry has a bad effect because it affects it. It's not a bad affect. It's not. Affect is when something affects you. Effect is what you have on it. So yeah, effect. Some people claim that the fashion industry has a bad effect on people's lives. Well done. Sometimes even I don't see stuff. Yeah. They say that the fashion industry creating clothes that the society has to wear. Whew. So much wrong with that. They say that the fashion industry, well, the fashion industry is it, first of all. We haven't got being in there or anything. So why have we got creating? Creates. That's what it does. Okay, it creates clothes. The fashion industry creates clothes that the society has to wear. That society has to wear. Furthermore, nice connector, like that connector. Furthermore, the clothes prices, this is good use as well of our Saxon genitive. Prices of the clothes, and because clothes is plural, they've put the apostrophe after the S. Nice. Furthermore, the clothes prices is extremely high. However, they may have done this nice thing. They know it's plural. So why have they used is? Yeah, clothes prices. Oh, and I've just written is again. Why have I done that? Are extremely high. Furthermore, the clothes prices are extremely high, and people who can't afford it should not be in the society. Oof. What are you trying to say? What's trying to be said here? Furthermore, the clothes prices are extremely high, and people who can't afford it can't afford the prices. So it's not it, it's them. And people who can't afford them should not be in the society, should not be in society. So you're saying that people that can't afford clothes can't be in society. It's quite a strong point, that. But anyway, it's your point. Furthermore, clothes prices are extremely high, and people who can't afford it should not be in society. I don't know whether I'd say should, because that's like advice. And maybe cannot be in society. That sounds a bit better. Okay. In the other hand, what's wrong there? It's a good starter to the sentence, but it's slightly incorrect. What should it be? Do we know? On the other hand. On one hand, on the other hand. On the other hand is a good starter. Yeah, on the other hand, Paula, well done. On the other hand, the fashion industry guide the people. Again, we have the fashion industry, which is it. Cannot, as in can't, as it's not formal. Yep, that's why I've put cannot. Where did I put it? There. Cannot here. Cannot. As can't is not formal. Cannot is this is formal. This is I would try and use formal writing in a compulsory question in something like this, because it's like an opinion essay, isn't it? So I would tend to use formal writing. You could put can't. You know, they wouldn't mark you down for can't, because can't tends to be sort of neither informal or formal in writing in these sort of situations. But cannot It's two different words as well. It would be counted as two different words as can't as well. We tend not to use contractions in formal writing as much. So on the other hand, the fashion industry, which is it, so we need here, has anyone said it? No, guides. Guides the people to be in a good appearance. Are you in a good appearance? Are you? People to be in a good appearance. What do you think we could change that to? Guides the people to be inner. I would change to maybe have a good appearance. Yeah, would be to look like good. Okay. To look like good? No. To look good. That's a good, to look good. Yeah. Is good as well. Look like means, is it parecer? To look like something. So, my cat looks like a lion, for example, you know, or so look like, we use like to mean similar to. So if you look like, so similar to, so you have different ones. You have look, you have smell. So we have our five senses: look, smell, sound, taste. And what's the other one? Look, smell, hear. So no, the sound is here. Feel. There we are, feel. So these are our you know, the eye, the nose. So put some hairs there. Sound, the ear. Yeah. Taste, the mouth. Feel, the hand. Yeah. Okay, so these are our five senses. Look, and we put all of these with like to mean similar to. So if something looks like something, it looks similar to something else. If it smells like something, it smells similar to something else. If it sounds like, it sounds similar to something else. Tastes like, tastes similar to something else. Feels like, feels similar to something else. Okay, that's how we use like, and it's similar to. So look like, here we are. The people, let's have a look. I like that username. The people sounds weird, like they're talking about a specific group, or why not just people? On the other hand, the fact, where are we looking at? The period on the other hand, the fashion industry guides the people. Yeah, guides people. It could be guides people as well. You could do that. Yeah, I'd agree with that. You can say that. On the other hand, the fashion industry guides people to look good or to have a good appearance. I think looks good. To look good, I think is better, to be honest, than to have a good appearance. It sounds more natural. People in general, yeah, I think you're right there. People in general is a much better sentence now. On the other hand, the fashion industry guides people, I've crossed out to look good. Or to look, you could say to look better as well. Either way, but you have to be careful if you've taken lots of words out. To look good is allowed to be in a good appearance. There's less words, so you'd have to make sure that you're making the 140 to 190 word count as well when you're taking down your word count or putting up your word count. Because if you go under 140 words, you will get penalised. If you go above 190 words, you will get penalised as well.
because they don't like to read a lot. You know, these examiners marking the things, they don't like to read too much, like massive lots. They want it to be just right. So, on the other hand, the fashion industry guides people to look good or to look better, because nowadays we've got a comma here we don't need, because we've got comma there, and a comma after nowadays. Nah, because nowadays, comma, that's nice, and nowadays, as we mentioned in the other text, nice little word means hoy en día, yeah? So if you can slip that into a writing, it's a good word to have in. Nowadays, the appearance of the person, again, get your people and person. The appearance of, we could have a person, or we could have an appearance of people. The appearance of people, or the appearance of a person, is more important than the person itself. Now, in this instance, I would use people, or I would use, instead of person, an individual, for example. Because if you're using person, you're just using the same words over again, and you're not demonstrating to the person marking your text that you have a wide vocabulary. Okay. So on the other hand, the fashion industry guides people to look better or to look good, because nowadays the appearance of an individual is more important than the person itself. Is a person it? No, themself. Than the person themself, because it's person, themself, singular, rather than themselves. If it was plural, if it was people, themselves. Okay. Last bit. In my opinion, the fashion industry has a bad influence on people's lives. In my opinion, nice start, because you've been asked to give your opinion. In my opinion, the fashion industry, again, we've had this recurring problem with the fashion industry and not treating it as it throughout this text. In my opinion, the fashion industry it doesn't. And that's a very simple error. At this level, at B2, you should not be making an error with does and doesn't. If you're doing an A2 exam, if you're doing the B1, the PET, it might be okay to make one. Yeah, but you should, when you read through your own text, you should notice something like that, things that you should be looking at. Fashion industry doesn't instead of don't. And doesn't, and then you've got has. If it's the third person singular, so how do you put don't and then has? I don't understand that, because you've realised that it's the third person singular. Otherwise you won't put has. And if it's negative, does not as well is fine. Doesn't have, yes, Laetitia. Doesn't have a bad influence on people's lives. This is okay, because the lives belong to the people, so that's correct. In my opinion, the fashion industry doesn't have a bad influence on people's lives. It's something which was created to help people what to wear. It was created, use of the passive. Yeah, it was created. Fue creado, was created to help people. We need a verb in here. Is it a formal text? Yeah, I would say all writings of opinions would be a formal text. Yeah, you could have does. You could have does not there. You could, but generally, when we're using the present simple and something like that, it's things like gonna and stuff like that. But this is is acceptable reasonably for a formal text. You can use does not. You wouldn't be penalised for using doesn't have, though, because that's the present simplest. Yeah, don't use contractions is a good rule to have. It is, it's, yeah, you wouldn't, it is, does not, you cannot, you cannot use contractions. If you want, we'll do that. Either way. In my opinion, the fashion industry does not have or doesn't have a bad influence on people's lives. It's something which was created, passive nice here, to help people something what to wear. So we need a verb in here to help people do something. So are they decide what to wear? Yeah, to help people choose what to wear. Yeah, good, nice, choose. Yeah, to any more? Can we think of any more? To help people. I can't think of any others off the top of my head. So let's look at the text as a whole again. I'll put my phone up here in case anyone wants to do a screenshot while I read it through again. In today's, I'll do the pen here as well so that we can follow, but it's not in the way of the screenshot. In today's world, the fashion industry has a strong importance in the life of people. The fashion industry tells society what to wear and creates new types of clothes all the time. Some people claim that the fashion industry has a bad effect on people's lives. They say that the fashion industry creates clothes that society has to wear. Yeah. Furthermore, the clothes prices are extremely high and people who can't afford them cannot be in society. On the other hand, the fashion industry guides people to look better because nowadays the appearance of an individual is more important than the person themselves. In my opinion, the fashion industry does not have a bad influence on people's lives. I will change that to it is. It is something which was created to help people decide or choose what to wear. Okay, so there we have the full text. Now we're going to look at that text and see if it's answered the question. Okay, it needs to give a point of view, it needs to give reasons, it needs to talk about whether people's appearance is important, it needs to talk about the price of clothes, and it has to talk about something else, your own idea. Okay, so is it talking about whether people's appearance is important? Well, we've got clothes prices here. Furthermore, the clothes prices are extremely high. So we're talking about the price of clothes in here. On the other hand, fashion industry guides the people to their appearance is more important than the person themselves. Whether the people's appearance is important. Do we think that it's answered that question? Maybe a little bit. On the other hand, the fashion industry guides people to look better because nowadays the appearance is more important than the person themselves. I think, yeah, it's probably... Oh, sorry, that's a 1. And then our own idea. In my opinion, the fashion industry doesn't have a bad influence on people's lives. That's your opinion. Okay, that's the same where it has a bad influence. Today's world, the fashion industry has a strong importance in people's lives. I don't think it's really got number 3. This particular one hasn't got a number 3. It hasn't got your own idea. What are other ideas that you could use in this particular writing? What could you use for our own idea? So we've got whether appearance is important, the price of clothes. Maybe we could talk about, I thought it was, what's this? Themselves. Yeah, this is what I talk about. We're talking about person here. Person is singular. So themselves. If it was people, it would be themselves. This particular one, because right, okay, let's look at now how society is changing. This is a really good example. So I'm going to write down our pronouns. I, you, he, she, it, and then we have we, you in plural, and they. Okay, so we all know our pronouns, don't we? Now, in this day and age, or nowadays, you have people that don't identify as he and don't identify as she. Yeah, we have people that are gender fluid. And this now is changing in the way we use language. In Spanish, we have ella, don't we? Ella instead of el or ella. Yeah, we have ella. This is, or we might write this as well. I've seen this in certain places. In English, if someone does not identify as he or she, as male or female, we use this pronoun as singular. Now, we use they. We use they or them. They or them. And you might see this on people's bios when they'll say, they'll have their name and then it might say she, her, or he, him. And nowadays we have or they, them. It's when people actually are expressing what their pronouns are. So we've got the pronouns that people tend to say are she, her, he, him, or they, them. They, them. So you can refer to one person, a singular person, as they. Okay? You always have been able to. If you don't know the gender of a person or maybe an animal or something like that, then you refer to them as they as well. You can use that. So when we're talking about our possessives, so I, yeah, myself is singular, yeah? Yourself. Then you have he or himself, self, herself, itself, our self, selves, because they're plural. And then in the you plural form, you can have yourselves. So if you're talking about many people, then it will take the selves termination. In Spanish, we do not say ella. Now, you say that, but I have heard people use that, and I've also seen people here in Tenerife anyway, and it's not used as much but I have heard some people use it. And it's sort of coming into society a bit like this is in English. In the past, I never heard people use this as much. Now it's being used all the time. So we have yourselves and we have they, them. So they or them can be themselves. If it's a plural, if it's a singular person, or themselves. If it's more than one person, that's how we define whether it's a singular person or a plural person. Yeah. So in this particular, the person themselves in this particular answer, because the person is on their own. Yeah. The people themselves. Okay. Anyway, so there we go. There's our text. We've done 2 texts today. We've done this side and we've done that side. This one, I'd say, hasn't answered the question as well. That's answered 2 of the things. This has answered all 3. Once again, if you want, I'll do a screenshot for this side. Okay. Yet never. Okay, I'll take your word for it if you say that. But as I said, in my classes, people have actually told me, Spanish people have told me that that's the way it's going. But I will take your word for it because you're Spanish and I'm not. Okay, so there we are. Right, but yeah, in English, if you're not referred to as he or she, then you use they or them. Okay, once again, here is Isla Idiomas, is my TikTok, Instagram, any social media I'm on, I have Isla Idiomas for all of them. I'm going to start uploading the lives to YouTube when I get a chance as well, so that if you want to re-watch them, they will be on there. I have Isla Idiomas on YouTube as well. islaidiomas.com is my website for classes in the south of Tenerife. Classroomgames.net is my website for materials. I'm going to try and start uploading the materials from these classes onto this as well. So if you want to download some of the materials, you can do that. And yeah, that's about it for today. Tomorrow, I possibly will be doing a live on the present continuous. So if you know anyone with the lower level, please share. Please follow along to find out about more lives. I'm doing quite a few now. And yeah, see you shortly. And I hope you've enjoyed today. And I'll speak to you all again tomorrow or next week or whenever you can get on. Oh, and do let me know if you can on any of my videos where I'm announcing lives, what time you will you prefer to have lives at, what sort of things you need to cover. If there are particular skills like speaking, I want to start doing online gaming as well to practice speaking. Which what I mean by that is like doing escape games online, because this is what I have a lot of. Let me turn my camera around. I have a lot of experience with is using gaming in the classroom. Okay, so using. It's called live listening activities, which is where we do an escape game together, and basically you have to speak in order for me to give you more information. So that's the idea of it. But I need to have people sort of like coming into the lives and interacting a lot. So that, look at my hair. I just got out the shower before. So yeah, I want to start doing more of those. So if you follow along, as soon as we get enough people coming in and participating, then I'll start doing more of that. So don't forget to like, follow, share, whatever. And thank you very much for participating today. See you again tomorrow or later on in the week. Okay. Ooh, finger in the way. Bye-bye.